Wouldn't it be great if we could end the need for landfills and turn the waste into energy and help power New Zealand? Hi, I'm Carl Storm. With years of experience in the waste, recycling and energy sectors, I've seen the urgent need for smarter solutions to deal with waste and rising energy demand. See, every day, tons of waste head to our landfills. Now, the WastAway technology that's been developed in the USA changes that by diverting up to 85% of waste and transforming it into clean, high-energy biofuel. Now, each WastAway plant can process up to 400 tonnes a day, producing renewable energy with a negative carbon footprint. This technology has been proven overseas for more than 20 years. Let me now introduce Mark, the CEO of WastAway in Tennessee, who will talk about this technology in more detail.
My name is Mark Brown and I'm the CEO of WastAway. Our primary mission is to help end our country's dependence on landfills. And at WastAway, we can divert 90% of the municipal solid waste away from landfills and into beneficial reuse. We do that through our patented WastAway technology, which takes solid waste. We pull out the recyclable materials, the metals are pulled out, some of the plastics are pulled out, and then 70% of the end product is our SE3, which is a clean, sustainable fuel that's been approved by EPA for use in non-waste facilities.
I started in RDF, which is refuse-derived fuel, but RDF is just kind of garbage. Garbage in, garbage out, literally. What WastAway does is change the substance. They go from shredded garbage to fuel. What comes out of WastAway is extremely stable, pathogen-free, consistent in size, color, BTU every day. No matter what comes to the plant, the fuel is always the same coming out of the back end. Anybody can make RDF, WastAway makes fuel.
In combustion terms, it's very similar to coal. In fact, power plants or other coal users can generally introduce this fuel without any changes to their boiler or their power plant or their other combustion equipment. We've tested in cement kilns, we've tested in large power plants, small boilers, gasifiers, and the tests have all been extremely positive. All of the customers have been thrilled with the results they got, and we have multiple national and international companies today that are clamoring to buy fuel.
It actually has been tested and accepted by EPA as a drop-in fuel for coal and biomass. The permitting is not the same as a garbage plant. So you could take this material with a much simpler permitting.
The fuel can be stored and it will not degrade in any way. There will not be any emissions from the pile of fuel.
The fuel that we produce is always the same moisture content. It's always the same BTU. Once you set your settings up to burn, those settings are the ones you run. So they can meet their goals of carbon without having to make constant adjustments to their firing system to accommodate fuel that's never consistent. Set it and forget it.
And when they displace coal with our fuel, they dramatically lower their carbon footprint.
When you take WastAway fuel and put it into a coal-fired power plant, you actually have a negative carbon emission.
I'm an environmental policy and environmental health professional. Heat, ozone, wildfires, what we're breathing is becoming very real and very visceral for a lot of people. We've seen wholesale change in industry and electricity production, not quite as fast as we need. I conducted a preliminary scoping study. The fuel created by WastAway, the SE3 or the fluff, it's technologically feasible, it has green outcomes, and it has profit. Very clear benefits, a win-win-win.
We're very proud that we have a high-quality fuel that our customers want.
They don't say they want that waste, they don't want that RDF, they want fuel.
For a WastAway project to work, it has to be financially feasible for all parties involved. The waste provider needs to save money, the fuel buyer needs to save money, the owner-operator needs a fair return on their investment, independent of any government subsidies. Those are icing on the cake, but that's not what we want to base our projects on. Recycling is part of the answer. It's an important part of the answer. But ultimately, there is always going to be some waste that's destined for the landfill, and that is the waste that we responsibly reprocess, and we find homes and beneficial reuse for 90% of that material. Everyone benefits by eliminating the need for landfills and by reducing our carbon footprints. We all know that these are ticking time bombs. They leave an incredible environmental problem for our children and grandchildren. Someday, someone's going to make them dig that stuff back up and do something with it.
Here in New Zealand, demand is clear. Large energy users in food processing, dairy, meat and heavy industries, they're all looking for cleaner, sustainable sources of fuel. I'm here to make it a reality in New Zealand. Together, let's turn waste, destined for landfills, into zero carbon energy and build a cleaner, greener future together.